Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's episode of What the Health Just Happened, where we talk about all things healthcare, the good, the bad, the ups, the downs, the lefts, the rights, and everything in between. We also bring on a variety of business and community leaders to discuss healthy and unhealthy business practices, including culture, leadership, human resources, sales, recruiting. We're going to talk about money today, Quinton, by the way. Anyways, What the Health Just Happened is brought to you by 212 Benefits, your partners in all thing employee benefits. I'm your host, Eric Hot Sauce Ross. I got to say that for you today, Quinton, because you said it wrong the other day. I'm fired up, so got to say it slow. Quinton, not Quinton.
Yeah, man.
Quinton Harris, VP of Northeast Florida for Bank of England Mortgage, host of a podcast, What's Your One More? We're going to hit that a bunch. The important stuff, husband, father, friend, and just a good dude, man. We also have the producer for What's Your One More and guitar shredder, Charlie Walker over there. He might chime in here and there. My buddy Trey, we got cameras. We got people everywhere. It's crazy. Jay Bo's the producer. We're going to challenge him to make him laugh because he's just got a funny laugh.
I love it.
You good?
I love it.
There's the intro.
I'm actually impressed with that intro because you went radio voice, right? And I could tell. You got that deep tone in there.
It is radio, 104.5 WOKV.
Well
then
done.
You repurpose it on podcast.
Yeah.
And,
well done.
Yeah. So this is live. I'm winking right now.
Yeah.
It's not live. Let's just acknowledge it, rip it off.
All right.
We're going to dive into it. I want to, it's up to you, right?
Sure.
This is your day. I think day-to-day grind, right? You are the VP of Northeast Florida for Bank of England, not Bank of America.
That's right.
Big difference. Yeah. Mortgage specifically.
Yeah. So man, I've been doing that for 21 years.
Dude, Lord.
It's been a.
You look like you're 28.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks, dude. I appreciate it. It's a nice thing I've heard all day.
Take your hat off.
So,
man.
yeah,
You got any gray hairs?
Yeah. No. Man. It's all real. It's right there.
I don't believe
Look,
it,
man.
Look, healthy
runs in the
hair.
family.
Healthy hair.
That's right.
There.
Healthy, not healthy. That's it. So, I mean, the reality is, been doing that for 20 plus years. I have the luxury of hosting a podcast because I'm surrounded by a great team, man. I just got great people around us, great culture. Good group, and the podcast started about really, and it came in its infant stage about 2 years ago in a planning session. I met Charlie during COVID. I knew his wife, and he and I just started talking, and I knew he had a background in wanting to do that. And we started just putting these ideas together, and we're like, what are we going to call the show? What is it going to be about? And all of a sudden,
dude, I love it. We're going straight into this.
Yeah, man. I started talking about it,
it,
and my kids were like, Dad, you totally should call it What's Your One More. Because remember, Charlie, we're going to call it Market Leaders to begin with. And I remember sitting at Coop 303 during COVID. We're having a couple of drinks.
Free shout out to Coop 303.
And he was like,
I love that.
And he was like, hey, man, straight up, like, let's ask the waitress. Do you listen to podcasts? She's like, I listen to all the podcasts. He's like, what do you think about Market Leaders? And I thought she was going to drop the tray. She was just so like, no.
Did she laugh? That's trash.
No, she goes, trash. I don't know what that means. And I'm like, well, that isn't going to be the show, Charlie. So then, we started kicking it around, and my kids were like, Dad, what's your one more? Is it? Because
I love the story. I was a guest on the show. Had a blast.
It started when my son was like, one more. He loves to fish, and he's a huge athlete. And he was like, Dad, one more, like one more line, one more cast, one more this.
One more pass.
He's like,
one
more
route.
rep, one more pass, one more. And then it led into, hey, well, what's your one more? And then my daughter was like, Dad, you've been doing this for 20-something years. You've met a lot of cool people, a lot nationwide.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of friends you can call upon. And she was like, and you kind of know real estate. You kind of know some stuff. She was like, it'd be cool to share that. And I was like, oh, I appreciate it. Yeah, hey, coming from a 15-year-old, that's a huge compliment, right? So you bottle that up and you're like, okay. And so then I went back to Charlie and he was like, dude, I love it. Next thing I know, Charlie's like, we got this guest, we got that guest. And so next thing I know, we launch. And we most people when they launch a podcast,
when was
do
this
episode
launch?
1.
What year?
So we launched to all the platforms on October 28th of last year.
Okay.
But we started recording in August just to kind of like test the
Bulk
equipment,
stuff,
bring in some guests, learn whatever. And what we didn't recognize was that most podcasts fail. They don't even get to the 7th episode because it's such a lonely echo chamber that you record and and Jay, you probably know those people coming here, they're all hyped up. They're like, man, I made this bomb
Turn your
episode.
mic on, Jay.
And you're like, yeah, man, it was pretty good. And then they expect to get all this feedback and it's just crickets, right? You might get a text like, hey, it was good. But, and so it's tough. So if you don't have episodes built up to keep pushing and persevering through, you just quit, right? And so we had all these episodes, like I think we had like 9 or 10 boxed up ready to go. We just started recording coming out the gate. And, we had some really big guests come on in those first 15 episodes that really drove us to like really, really finding that what we wanted to do. I mean, we had Lieutenant Brian Murphy come on, and he was the first sergeant on the scene at Oak Hill during a mass murder up in Wisconsin.
I'm gonna pause you real quick because I want to ask about specific guests. And you know what Jay does every time? Jay Bo is our producer.
Yeah.
Every time he leaves the show, he texts his wife. He's like, God bless, man. I had to sit through What the Hell Just Happened again. This dude's a clown, man. Nothing?
Is that because I accidentally sent it to you?
Yeah, that's right. He texted me directly.
Hey, baby.
Just a straight clown picture. Hey, baby. Oh my gosh.
What's for dinner?
So I want to pivot eventually to like healthy economies, the healthy real estate market. But let's dive into the show because I was a guest on it. Had a blast. Great host. The studio. The studio. This is in Atlantic Beach in the Keller Williams office. Used to be a Pier 1, right?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, you and Charlie Walker. Trey, it's ridiculous, man. It is unbelievable. It's beautiful. The lighting, the cameras, all this stuff. Guests. And besides me, who's the best guest you ever had?
Well, there's a lot of people that rival. I mean, you definitely led the
top
league, right?
dog,
top
man.
dog. So, man, like I said, we've been fortunate. I mean, the list, and I'm going to forget some people here, but I mean, we had John Gordon, Damon West, Vijay Singh. We had all kinds of world economists on there, from Barry Habib to Rob Chrisman. We had Miss America, or Miss United States 2017.
Lead singer for Saliva.
Yeah, Bobby Emery was just on the show.
Yeah, do you know Matt Samaglia?
I know who he is.
I'm going to give him a free shout out. We went to high school together.
Nice, man.
That's how I'm like, dude, I haven't seen you in 20 years. You were just on somehow, I was going through your Instagram profile.
Yeah, he was on there.
What?
Yeah, Matt, I got introduced to Matt. He was he's got a really cool Alteon company he's working at.
He's a smart dude. He was honestly like probably one of the smartest dudes in high school.
Yeah.
When you're like, that guy's going to be successful. That guy's
he
gonna
was.
Be,
I mean, absolutely crushing. I mean, like
also
I said,
very handsome.
Forgetting so many people because we try to do a guest a week and we've got 81 episodes. So I mean, it's do a financial episode and a guest a week. So it's a lot.
And again, I wrote this down. I think we'd get to that here. Each episode offers an intimate glimpse into the journey of influential business leaders, entrepreneurs, coaches, and athletes, many of whom Quinton, I got to say slow because if you say fast, it's Quinton.
Just say Q.
Q. I like Q.
Yeah, my mom calls me Q. Call me Q.
Many of whom, my parents call me hot sauce.
There you go, man.
Q has fostered enduring friendships with, which I think is true, right? Yeah. Your relationships, there's no BS. There's no
man, it helps put the show together. Most of them we don't do an agenda, we don't run through them, and people are super cool about that, and that kind of makes for the conversational piece a lot better. And I think the thing about podcasting is that, what we've seen is that a lot of people feel like you got to have this like whole in-depth thing planned out. And it's really just two people just chopping it up and making something out of a conversation that you hope the audience feels the same way you do with the topic matter you bring to the table. And we get the luxury of a lot of headlines in the news right now, so we get a lot of stuff to talk about. It's pretty easy for us.
Do you like dad jokes?
Dad jokes are good. My kids don't like them. My kids are not a fan.
You got any good ones? Because I wrote a couple down between mortgage jokes and podcast jokes.
Man, I say stuff to Charlie all the time. Like, man, and my kids, like, I say, he gets pretty cool with this. Like, my grandfather used to just kill me up. Man, I walked out the other day. I was like, oh, Charlie, I'm so broke. I can't even pay attention. And he was like dying laughing over there, dude. I was like,
once we go back to the mortgage world, the mortgage ones have me dying. Yeah. Okay. What do a group of whales listen to on a long journey?
Oh, man, I have no
Podcasts.
idea. Podcasts? There you go.
They're a pod of dolphins. That's pretty bad. All right. What do you call 2 or 3 average guys talking?
I don't know.
A podcast.
There you go.
Dude, everybody. So when you ask me, we do a healthy or not healthy, bro. I got some terrible jokes here. We do the healthy or not healthy, which I want to do. I might even ask you the same ones, but when we were recording ours, Charlie said healthy or not healthy, starting a podcast as a middle-aged dad.
Man, totally healthy as long as your family's on board with it, because I use them as a lot of examples. And as long as they're on board with it, knowing that you're going to be dedicating time. And the thing about podcasts is you just can't do the podcast. You got to have a social media component go with it. You got to have a team behind the social media. You got to have a video crew, and they got to pump it out, man. And it's got to, you got to really be into it and kind of give your life or people access to your life. And if you're intimate in your own life and you don't want to do that, then that's not the platform for you. And also, if you're getting a podcast to make money, like it's not going to happen. It'll come with it if you do it right, but you're not going to be these trends. Right now, starting one, you're so far behind the people that have already been out there 10, 12 plus years. Yeah. To play the catch up is just, you got to be patient and you got to keep delivering content and know that you're doing it for other reasons. So I'm doing it as a time capsule. Like I know that I'm leaving a legacy for my kids, their kids, because Charlie's kids, and every guest that we have on the show, their kids. Because what happens is, I could leave a journal. Hell, they're not going to read that, right? And, and Jay, can I say hell in here? You got to bleep that out?
We say hell, that's fine.
Okay, so they're not going to read
what the hell? Sorry, now I have to rip one rip, dude.
And so, and they probably couldn't even read my handwriting.
Don't abuse it.
Sorry. But the reality is, you leave an audio video, it's going to live out there forever. They'll listen to that. They might even watch that, And so that gives you a lot of different things to remember.
This sounds messed up. I like to talk about life and death. It's just a reality of what we're all. Bad news, everybody. We're all going to die, right?
Yeah, we all got an expiration.
But it's, like you said, it's your kids when they're 50, 60, 70 years old, and their kids and grandkids, and who knows what the world looks like then. But look, I laugh every guest, because now people are starting to reach out. I've had some local. I try to keep it local to Northeast Florida. I don't even track the podcast stuff. This is, as I tell everyone, this is a radio show that we repurpose as a podcast.
But it's live.
It's wink, wink. Probably winking at that camera over and over, man. So what's your one more again? I love it. I'm going to turn the tables on you. You probably don't remember my answer. You got guests coming in. Do you know what my one more was? It's okay to say no.
Here. I mean, I honestly, if I get if you gave me a couple minutes to think about it, I'm pretty sure I could come up with it. But for the sake of time, I'm going to say I don't quite remember it all the way through. But I think it has something to do with your kids. But
one more smile.
Oh, one more smile. Okay.
It could be your kids. One more day with my kid. One more, But it's one more smile.
Yeah.
Every human I'm in touch with is how do you make them smile one more time. I'm still waiting on Jay to chuckle, but he's over there doing a Sudoku puzzle or something, man. What's your one more? I'm turning the tables because we're going to do healthy or not healthy.
Yeah, no, I mean, for me, it's simple. My one more is just to leave a legacy, and for me in doing that means I got to be the best husband and father that I can be and give them some examples, not just like, a lot of people talk about, I want to give my kids more than I ever had. And I think sometimes we equate that to like monetary means and items and things like that. And for me, it's like I want to give them the knowledge base and give them the influence that maybe I didn't get. And it's not a bad thing. My parents just didn't have it. My grandparents, they grew up there in the Great Depression, didn't even finish high school. That's just how life was.
Where are you from?
In Nashville. So
born and raised?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's just how life was. And so learning some things from the School of Hard Knocks are great, but also learning how to apply certain academic features and how to actually, the biggest thing for my kids right now is they're so influenced by social media. And I mean, not like, oh my God, their life lives around it, but they are influenced. Everybody is that's on it. They're lying if they say they aren't. And I want them to understand how to distinguish that from what real life is, and then also how to cut through the noise of the media. Because the media right now is just really, really influencing people in a bad way, and it's not healthy. It's not healthy.
I'm going to go back. I'm going to actually write this down. I haven't written any notes yet because I'm enjoying this.
That's great, man.
So
I mean, to me, there's a lot of noise in there.
And the news, the big one, we'll go back to versus healthy versus not healthy. So let's talk about money, right? I think people duck. They don't talk about politics, don't talk about religion, don't talk about money. That couldn't be more backwards to me.
Sure.
Why can you not have an open dialogue with arguably the most important things that are going to affect you the rest of your life forever?
Well, to me, I was always taught by one of my mentors. He was like, the thing about money is that people are going to want you to feel guilty for what you've made or what you have. And so and that's usually because of a couple of different reasons. And he was like, but at the end of the day, he was like, don't let anyone ever make you feel guilty for either making money or having money. At this time, I was a college grad, so I clearly didn't have any money.
Where'd you go to college?
University of Tennessee.
Oh, that's right.
And so, but what happens is...
So you love the Gators.
Yeah, why not, right? I mean, I live here. My daughter gets a chance to go there. I'll be a Gator dad. I mean, for the record, she does get a chance
I'm
to
a
go
Florida State guy. If my kids go to the UF, I'm going to be a Gator. Don't tell anyone that.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, I think people are always worried about, like, either A, what they don't have, or B, trying to act like, or B, people judging them for something they may have done well. Just everything's so judgmental in society. I think that's why it's been a faux pas to talk about it. But it's interesting enough, like over the years, man, people talk about their mortgages, their interest rates, and what they got in this and that. So that's talking money. It's just in different terms.
It's tough. We're about to come to this first commercial break. What the hell just happened? Quinton Harris. I'm going to talk about what's your one more. We could talk about Bank of England, which is where you work, but I'm going to try to fire off. Oh, we're good.
Yeah, you got 2 minutes.
I love to chime in. We're not live. I mean, we're live.
I thought he was just giving you a peace sign when he said that.
That's it. Okay. Dude, these jokes are terrible. I thought people would flock to my bank if I offered 0% mortgages. There was no interest.
I see what you did there.
You say, you got to hear a lot of those.
Okay.
Why couldn't SpongeBob get a mortgage?
I guess because he's underwater.
There it is. See, you know all these terrible jokes. Okay, hopefully you've heard this one. What actor do you talk to get out of debt?
I don't know, Bill something.
Mortgage Freeman.
There you go, Mortgage Freeman.
Yeah, there he is. That's bad. Jay's laughing over there. That was bad.
Mission accomplished.
Okay. Similar one. What do you call an aging actor who has finally paid off his house?
Debt-free.
Also Mortgage Freeman.
There you go.
Eraser on the side. They're so bad. I'm sorry.
No, man.
Every time
I love how animated you are about that.
You know. Okay, so we got a minute here till the break time. Anything you want to chime in, shout outs. We're going to come out of the break. I imagine talk a lot about the podcast. You know what? Who knows where it goes?
Who knows?
That's my favorite part.
Nah, man, just I appreciate being on the show and my producer Charlie Walker being up here helping out, and we're just
Master Shredder.
That's right,
Master
Shredder, man, and to the team over at BOE Jacks, man.
Quinton, I always like to say it slow, then Quinton.
Yep.
But I like Q. Can I start calling you Q?
Absolutely.
Harris, Bank of England's host of What's Your One More? Great show if you haven't given it a listen. It's kind of weird. We got cameras in here. This is the first time. We'll see what comes out. But Q Harris, What the Health Just Happened. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the second half of What the Health Just Happened. I got Q Harris here. What's the title? VP of
Northeast Florida.
Kick. I almost cursed there, man. Kick buttery, but I didn't.
There you go.
More importantly, the host of What's Your One More. If you haven't listened to it, I'm telling you, check it out. He's had some incredible guests. Great host. The studio is sick. We got his producer in here, Charlie Walker. I'm kind of pissed he didn't bring a guitar because he shreds on it. We got a lot of people in the studio today and some cameras. Anyways, If you missed the first half of the radio show, good news. This will be posted on all your favorite podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple, and Apple 5, iHeartRadio. I don't even know, man.
I'm pretty sure that's not what they're called, but we'll go with it.
You know what I mean.
We'll clear it up here.
Hi, Mom. I love you. Katie Ross, you're the best. Who do you want to give a shout out to before we get back into it?
Man, to my wife, Erin, my daughter, Taylor, and my son, Carter.
Hey.
Yep.
You guys want to give a shout out to anyone?
Without them.
He's like, nah, leave me alone, man. I'm over here taking pictures.
Yeah.
So first half, we kind of bounced around, talked about
his daughter, Presley. Yeah, absolutely, man. You can't leave her out of that.
Dude, we have daughters the same age.
Not the Prez.
They probably
lives on
hung
the
out
show,
and know
but
each
it's
other.
cool to
They're
have
both
her
at
on there.
camp. Like my daughter's been there all day today. What's your daughter's name?
Presley.
Presley. My daughter's Isla. I love you, Isla. She won't hear this. Dear Lord, I see that. I get off track pretty easy.
Yeah.
Where's Isla?
Isla Ross. There's like 3 Islas there.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Bro, there's like 5 Islas. Like, dude, there's Islas everywhere. First half of the show, a lot about, not even a lot, your industry, the mortgage field. I do want to talk about real estate a little bit. Like, again, what do you think is healthy, not healthy, especially Northeast Florida? I think it's insane right now. A lot about the podcast, What's Your One More? I happened to be a guest one time, had a blast. I cannot compliment you guys enough.
Thanks, man.
And I was like I've looked at your guests. I'm like, I was the lamest dude on there, man.
That's not true.
I got a couple buddies who text me. They think you're kind of cool. I'm like, nah, man. Have you seen these other guys? You've had some hits on that show. Very healthy guests, we'd call them.
Yeah, we've had some good guys on there.
So let's do a little real estate and then back to that show. Upcoming guest, favorite moments. I got a bunch of healthy or not healthy here, but real estate market in Northeast Florida.
Mm-hmm.
On a 1 to 10, 10 being like just absolutely incredible.
Well, I mean, so to me, this is like what we talk. This is a huge portion of our show. So for us, there's going to be some people that will understand, but some will also argue it's a 10. And the reason it's a 10 is because we have a growing market that is tremendously desirable from all other major metros in the state of Florida. Are the amount of people that are moving in daily, our net migration rate places us in the top spot of net migration over the last year. That means how many people are moving in versus moving out. Obviously, we have an active job market. We have one of the lowest unemployment rates in the entire state of Florida. And the entire state of Florida is the top 3 in the United States of lowest unemployment rates. So whenever you're talking housing, you look at a component of affordability. With affordability, that's made up of 3 things: household income, interest rate, and then the price of the product. And the price of the product in this case is
hold up. I
housing.
want you to say it again because I love this. You're educating people, and some people know this, some don't. What
Sure.
are the 3 criteria?
So when we look at affordability, you look at what is the household income to afford the product. In this case, the product's the house, and then the financing terms, which is the interest rate to buy that product. Now, we all know that rates are not in the most favorable position, but historically they're also right in line with where they normally would be over a 30, 40-year average. But the reality is this, household incomes are moving up at an accelerated rate. Normally you wouldn't see that. So the argument would be, well, we have high rates, but we don't have income to support that. It wasn't 20 years ago, the average household income was, $40,000 in Jacksonville. Right now it's 110.
There's no way the average household income in Jacksonville is $140,000.
No, 110.
110. That's still, I'm like,
that's exactly what it is.
Nationwide, it's like 66 right now?
Yeah, but I mean, no, it's actually higher than that. I think it's like 87. But the from an AMI standpoint. But the reality is Jacksonville is encumbering 4 counties. It's not just Duval, right? We know that, right?
Who are you including in that?
I'm for all, the MSA, the 4 counties.
Okay.
So you're looking at 4 counties. And so what happens is during that COVID migration that took place, there's a lot of jobs that are still work from home that came from out of state. Very, very, very big out of states. New York, Washington in particular, and even Atlanta. And now we're seeing a huge migration from Miami and Orlando up here. These are higher paying job markets that are coming into our area that are bringing that income with them. It's not like that they dropped that income. So that's what's increasing that. And we're seeing that reciprocated in the price of the home. because anytime there's affordability in the market, the seller of the product is going to absorb it. They're going to raise the price until they can breach the highest point they can get to. It's what always happens. And so the question becomes like, oh, well, have we gotten to the highest point? Well, typically what you would see is the demand for the product go away, and then you would start bringing the product price down. The challenge is the 90s babies are shaking up the game.
I saw you post something about that, right?
Yeah, man. So
from 90 to 93.
91, 92, that 3-year run is the highest birth rate in the United States on history. It beats any 3 years ever in the United States, including
That's
the boomers.
insane.
And so all those people, the reason that's important is 1990 represents 33 years ago. That happens to be the average first-time homebuyer's age right now. 33
years old.
So 1990, 33 years old. 91's another
also, like,
group of
hold on.
33.
How was like music and we'll call it extracurricular activities in 1989, early 1990? Like, what happened where parents are like, let's have some more kids in this window?
Let's get after it, right?
Okay.
But I mean, it was so, and then 91 is the next year. So that's 3-year wave all the way carrying you through 2026 of, we already have a large pool of buyers. We're compounding that every year. We're adding more to it. We don't have enough homes to fit the desire. We also don't have a rental market that's strong enough to fit that
crazy,
desire.
man.
Right. So the challenge in our market is there's not enough room and there's not enough area for people to go. So we're really depending on the backfill of the inventory through builders who are reaping the benefit of this market right now. They're really getting the benefit.
Builders
Yeah, they're
are,
getting the benefit of this.
and again, good for them, right?
Yeah, good for them.
I don't care, supply
Right
and
time.
demand, capitalism, which I'm right.
Well-
You work hard and you make good money when you can. The same example, the people that got burnt out, you made great money. You had lines wrapped around the corner. So that's interesting. When you say these numbers, is this based off of Northeast Florida or is this countrywide?
So
Nationwide.
So the 90s is nationwide, right? 91, 90,
Yeah.
99, 192. That's nationwide. The net migration rate's Jacksonville specific.
Okay.
The unemployment rate's Jacksonville specific. Those metrics are on, and then the average median income in Northeast Florida, those 4 counties, is specific.
Okay. See, I like learning something, man. I don't even care. You guys, I don't care if anyone else listens other than you, Mom. I love you, Mom. I just like to learn something every time, and I watch some of this stuff, listen to it. I would, again, thanks for the healthy advice, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, and
learning that
Jacksonville's
stuff,
a
too.
top 50 or top 40 metro in the United States. A lot of people don't know that. I mean, we were also listed by, we were listed as the I think we were the number 7 most desirable city in America for homeowners.
I love this city. Like, I am ride or die Jacksonville.
Sure.
I moved here in 2001 to go to UNF and never left, right? I think we have, and I grew up in Southeast Florida, which is overpopulated. You can't even build. There's
bumper
nothing
to
to build
bumper.
anymore. I think Jacksonville may get to that point, right? If you look at Fort Lauderdale, Miami, I grew up in Boca Raton, close to those areas. Tampa, I'd say, is probably 10 or 15 years ahead of us. Orlando, dear Lord, I don't want to be anything like Orlando. No offense to Orlando people.
Yeah.
I think we are sitting
gridlocked,
on,
we're waterlocked.
we are sitting on this just potential, and I don't want to say gold mine to think of it that way, but it's coming.
It's
And
co- I mean, it's not only
accept
coming,
it, get on
like,
board with it, enjoy
There's-
it.
Anytime you show up on major articles, major publications, pages of being named, we're not a one-off. It's over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And again,
Big publications.
all those cities you just named, like, you think our housing prices are crazy? Theirs are absolutely insane. And
Oh,
so-
they're like, here's cash for that 600, 700, 800K house.
and that brings
here
up-
in
Yeah.
Maine or wherever it is, or Washington.
Yeah.
That's a $3 million house.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
I mean that just brings up another point. We have a ton of cash transactions in our market that we're double the normal cash purchase rate.
Are those, and again, going back to the rental market,
Mm-hmm.
are those out-of-staters buying to rent, short-term rentals, Airbnb?
No, for the most part, man, they're coming down here. They're buying.
They're
to
moving
live.
in.
They're buying to live. I mean, they're coming
I mean,
in. They're coming in, and it's absurd. What's the amount of people come down here and they go, man, this is unbelievable. I can get this for this, and if you're a local, you go, I can't believe they're getting that for that. And it's like it's just 2 different perspectives, man.
Yep.
And it's still going. It hasn't stopped.
Yeah, I mean, again, what your
Now the
thoughts?
challenge, the flip side of that, sorry not to cut you off, flip side of that is
No.
that you got sellers now that go, oh, wait a minute, they sold their home for this. Let's move ours up 30,000 to see if we can get it sold. We're kind of in that phase of let's put it out there and see what happens right now. So you still got a lot of that. So people are overpriced on some of their homes. Even in this market, they're overpricing just to see if they can get away with selling it. So sometimes they sit a little longer than they should.
What part of town are you on?
I'm actually where you guys are, right over there. I'm off of Hodges and Beach.
Okay. Which is not blowing up. But if you drive through Jacksonville, you see apartment complex, condos, Nocatee, all of it. It's crazy. My
Right.
parents moved up here. They're in Marsh Landing. But every time there's just something going up.
Always.
Every single day.
Yeah, and the further out
healthy
you
or
go,
not healthy?
Yeah, the
What do you
further
think?
out you go, you're going to see more of that growth as you're talking about. It's healthy. The city needs to kind of expand out of these pockets that were so central. The one thing I noticed when I moved to this city was there's no suburb. When I moved here 20 years ago, I'm like, man, there's really no suburb because, in Nashville,
You're comparing
suburbs.
this to Nashville.
Oh, yeah. A lot of big cities, there's suburbs. But Jacksonville, that's not the case. You had pockets, right? And so I think that what you're seeing is this outward movement, from you've got up there off of, you've got, what is it, Wildlight up there towards the Yulee area. It's a huge subdivision. It could be the size of Nocatee 20 years from now. You've got Nocatee. So, you've got, those are polar ends of the spectrum too. So, but there's a lot of this outward movement that's happening that also is creating affordable housing, and so these people that move in here from out of state, they're like, oh, so what? I got to drive 45 minutes to work. No problem. You try to tell someone they got to drive over the ditch. They're like, that's like they're raging.
What year did you move here to Jacksonville?
2004.
Okay, so I moved in 2001. Again, the University of North Florida was a different school than it is now. Like the St. John's Town Center, that was not there. By the way, I got my buddy Trey over in the corner. We didn't haze, but there may have been a field where the town center was, and fraternities would take kids there, that's a long time ago. It's inappropriate. Don't do that. No hazing. But just seeing the changes in what year are we in? 22 years?
23.
Dear Lord, man.
2023.
I wonder my hair is so gray.
Well, and you're right. That was built overnight too. That Super Bowl comes 6 months later. You got the PF Chang's Cheesecake Factory, and that whole little area built up, man.
That was laughable.
Yeah,
you were here. So you were here for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Think about, we were not equipped for it. The city was not ready. I think we could be if all this downtown development continues to happen. The Four Seasons. Look, I love this city. I think there's so much potential. It's like, how do you spread the word on businesses, what people are doing, and just there's just so much going on here.
It's interesting. I have no insight of what I'm going to say. This is just a pure prediction. You look at what Khan's building down there, and it started with Daly's Place. When he built Daly's Place, I thought to myself, why the hell are we putting a concert place next to the football stadium? Then it dawned on me. I was like, if he does this right, you gotta get the NFL. The way it goes is you get the NFL draft, then you get the Super Bowl. So that's perfectly set up for an NFL draft. Perfectly set up. You get the draft, you bring the fans in, you do the draft.
We're going all Jags.
And
for the rest of the show, all we're talking about is the NFL and Jaguars, baby. I am in.
It's you got to fix the shipyards. You got to get some higher end stuff in there. And now everything is kind of falling into place. We're probably 10 years out from getting that Super Bowl bid. But man, you fix that stadium up the way they're talking about it, you're checking every box at this point.
I'm really curious what happens there. Look, I am ride or die Jaguars now.
Man.
There's days I'm like, I wish I wasn't. I've been heartbroken so many times, but this year is real.
Yeah.
Feel
the same way. Season ticket holder for 12 years.
But again, you go downtown, and I'm comparing this to, I just went to a Braves game a couple weeks ago.
Dude, the Battery is ridiculous.
The Battery.
It's fantastic.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Nashville, right?
Yeah.
Nashville down,
yeah, but that stadium's awful there.
The stadium's
That's
trash.
A train wreck.
Also, the team's trash. You guys are getting smoked this year. Twice. I'm going off track here. That's what I do. But again, it's the downtown. To me, and I think it's happening, you travel other places, what's working, what draws in a crowd, more revenue, restaurants, bars. They're building and developing downtown. Like you said, we're 10 years out.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And it happens. It's going to be great when it does happen.
Best Jaguar player right now.
Man, I'm torn on this one.
You can't say Trevor Lawrence, by the way.
No. I think he's definitely really, really good. I thought Trayvon's impact as a rookie was surprising to me. How much impactful he was on the field.
You do.
Well, I just
turn that on. Are you following the Jags?
I didn't think.
Oh, he's a Carolina.
I didn't
fan.
think he.
Yeah, I'm a Panther fan.
I didn't think he would have, just because of the lack of reps he had. I didn't think his motor would go the whole game. And he came in knocking down passes, doing what he did, disrupting the backfield. I was like, okay. I really loved seeing a healthy ETN on the field.
Oh,
healthy ETN, because he has that extra gear that we hadn't seen.
Forget healthcare, forget mortgages. We're talking about football. It's coming up on us.
But now, Calvin Ridley,
dude,
I'm excited to see him, and actually working hard to get him on the podcast, because what the thing is this. I've watched some film with him, and you watch Zay run this route, and you're like, man, that's a good route by Zay. You watch Ridley run that same route.
Have you been to training camp yet?
No, I haven't gone yet.
So again, you talk about healthy versus unhealthy.
Yeah.
Do you remember the old practice facility downtown?
I've heard this is phenomenal what they've done.
The old practice facility, it was trash. Literally my kids' middle school field. I love you Jaguars, but it was bad.
Yeah.
It was awful. No shade. The new facility, the Miller Electric Center.
Legit.
Dude, I heard
the whole setup with the swag.
It's crazy.
The vendors,
you got a shop.
I hope that shop stays
food.
open 7 days a week.
That's what I'm saying.
It should.
Revenue. So I went Saturday of this week, right? Again, technically it's Saturday right now because this is live. It's not live. Went Saturday, got autograph passes, and went Monday. Just luckily got autograph passes. Going back to Trayvon Walker, the dude
It's a beast, man.
is a man
Yeah.
child.
Ah,
And
that's
again,
you.
I'm
Big dude.
I'm like 5'8". I'm a little dude, but I'm fast, man. Not that fast. Back to Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
Watching that dude play, just destroying people.
Oh, dude, he's so fast.
I'm fired up.
Yeah,
I'm
it's going to be a
fired up.
great season.
You got season tickets?
Yeah, I've had him for 12 years.
Okay.
Section 138.
Which game are you most excited for?
Man, here's the thing for me with the Jags. Here's the biggest thing for me with the Jags. I want us to handle our business with the teams that we should beat and quit surprising the fans with the teams that we shouldn't beat. Let's do it all. Let's do it all. Let's go in there and take it. The fact, if you look at those first 3 games of the season last year, that set the tone right out the gate, and we should have had Washington in the bag. And we should have had the Eagles in the bag, right?
Painful.
So, yeah, painful. But
Painful.
But I'll tell you this.
Great year.
So the thing for me is I always have rivals with my buddies against the Titans because being from there, I turned in my Titans card 12 years ago. So I still
being the
catch, I still catch for it. So I always look forward to the Titans game because we
Drop
have
the S-bomb.
Yeah, because we
We'll
have
sorry.
we have
got it.
we have a great rivalry, and we always find ourselves down here like doing like a whole get together. So it's more
I
than just a
love it.
game. They come down here,
It's
we do
an
our
event,
thing,
hanging out.
You know, and the Jags always give us sideline passes for that game, so we
Yeah.
can go down there, see the Titans, see the Jags, bring the kids down there. It's a fun time. Like Joshua Dobbs played for the Titans last
Yeah.
year. And being a Tennessee
remember.
guy, my son was rocking a Tennessee jersey during warm-ups. He came out of nowhere, took a picture with my son. seeing
Dobbs?
Tennessee. Yeah, Dobbs.
Dobbs?
Astro Dobbs. Yeah. So that was cool, man. So I always look forward to that game. It's
I
always
do have
something
to.
like that.
Again, this makes me laugh. Jade might have rolled it. You did drop an S-bomb, man. Poor
did,
Jay's
man. It didn't
got to
take
go
long to
back
come
and
out.
bleep it out. I know he's over there.
Jay, did you get the
rolling
time written down when that
Yeah,
happened?
I
So
wrote it
quick
down.
at Perfect.
This is not my first rodeo.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah,
I saw
it's
you.
usually me. So
I'll tell you what game I'm looking forward to.
Which
What's
one? That's
that?
what I want to talk about.
New Year's Eve.
Is
Panthers at Jaguars.
Yeah.
Oh,
there you go.
that's
Makes
right.
sense. Is that?
do you have tickets for it already?
I don't. I'm trying to get Mark's tickets.
Nice.
Where his?
I'm not even sure, but
I'm in whatever the club seats are. I just got them this year. But dude, think about this. I
Visitor
get it.
side or other side?
The
Visitor or home?
I don't even want to say it because they're technically the Gallagher Club. They're a competitor
Yeah.
of Two Told Benefits,
Sweet.
but I'd laugh. I'm like,
Is that what they call,
I'm like,
that's what they call the club now? Is it
Gallagher's
Okay.
Gallagher, by the way, is a behemoth, a multi-billion-dollar company nationwide. We're like we take care of small to medium-sized business.
But are you on the east or the west? Which side? Visitor or home?
212. I don't even
212.
now that I'm
That
thinking
sounds
about
like
it.
home.
I think it is the home side. It's
yeah.
definitely the home side.
You'll appreciate that in September
Oh yeah,
when you're not just getting waylaid.
So I said the whole point. My business partner Joey and I got the tickets at the same time. I'm like, I don't care. Find the ones that get shade the fastest.
Yeah,
Got a couple
that'll
right
be
there.
them. That'll be
But
them.
games, back to that. I forgot you're a Carolina fan. Jay Bose is. Do you know what our first home game is?
we're delayed, aren't we?
Our first home game. Who it's against?
No.
The Kansas City Chiefs. That's pretty flippin' cool.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
I said flippin', by the way.
Yeah, I
that was
know.
close.
That'll be cool.
I see what you did there.
What about a Monday Night Football game
Yeah, that was nice. That was great to
against
see.
the Cincinnati Bengals, and then a Sunday night game against the Baltimore Ravens?
Ravens, yeah.
I can't remember if one Sunday morning. Like, I don't know. I'm excited. 49. It's unbelievable. Our
it's a
home
great
games this
schedule.
year, and it's not easy.
Well,
but
you
like you
finish first
said-
in the division, you get all the other first.
But win the games you should win, and compete on
Yeah,
the ones
you
you
compete in
can't,
the ones
so.
that are questionable.
I got to show you some sweet Jag swag I've been making, man. I like to make random stuff. But,
That's cool.
Okay. What you got, man? Give me some. You want to throw out some healthy or not healthy? You want to wing it?
Man, I tell you what. So let's go with it. Healthy, not healthy. You ready?
Yeah.
The button-down polo. You asked me that question. I didn't know what that was. The healthy, not healthy button-down polo. Short sleeve button-down polo.
Short sleeve button down polo.
Now this is the all the way down, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he
Short
called it a button down.
sleeve.
He really messed me up. I thought it was just called like just a short sleeve. You
You talking about like
button down.
full button down?
Yeah, all the way down.
So I go healthy. I like those.
I do too.
I don't love.
I was actually wearing one when you asked me that
Yeah,
on the
we
last
both
show.
were.
And I
We
was
both had
man, I
like
don't know what
these
he's trying
button
to do with
down.
this.
No, I don't like. I actually hate polos, and everyone wears polos. You gotta
Yeah.
wear polos. If you're up to me, it's just straight tank tops. But I'm 40 years old and should be an
It'd
adult.
probably be neon too.
I'm going healthy though. I love
Okay,
button downs.
agreed.
All right, healthy or not healthy? Jay Bose's polo right there.
Oh man, that one's strong. I'll tell you this right now. I like
Chameleons
the
and golf
chameleons
clothes?
with the golf.
Dude, this
Noticed it
dude
when I
always
walked
has
in.
the
Saw it when
sweetest
I walked in.
polos.
I was like, man, that's
He always has the
that's-
sweetest polos.
Hey man, I love it. It's
All right,
catch
you
your
want
eye.
to throw in another healthy or not healthy?
Yeah, man. Healthy, not healthy. Drinks on a school night.
Healthy.
You
we got Jay in.
you mean the parent? Like how old's
Yeah.
a kid?
Yeah, you.
Not healthy for the kid.
Not obviously
Yeah.
kid, right?
Well, they're
Drink on
21.
school
Is
nights,
it
man.
college age?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
every night. I don't want to say it. It's unhealthy.
Okay.
but I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
A lot of school nights. Not healthy.
Oh, man.
Dude, run it. I got to try to fire these into. I
Okay,
love
go for it,
healthy,
man.
not healthy is my favorite, but I do like this final question, and we'll see what we can get to. But more specific to you, the industry one's different, but you look at Q 1, 3, 5, 10, 20 years ago. What is some healthy advice you would give yourself in whatever time frame you can think of?
Relax. Just relax, man. Like, it's not the end of the world. You don't have to accomplish everything in one day. And, you can do anything, but you can't do everything. So, like, trust the people around you. You hired them for a reason. If you didn't, you shouldn't have hired them. And the minute you learn to let go of, like, your own control freak, you'll grow.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, because you can't do everything, but you can do anything. You just can't do everything. And when you start thinking you got to do it all yourself, it's just not a good place to be. And young people,
I love that.
Young people with instant success feel like they got that success because of what they did. They did that. When it was
And it's
definitely what other people around them helped with.
A lot of success, like whose definition of success? Yours is different than mine, I'm sure, right?
Absolutely.
Trey's different than Charlie's, and Jay's different. Like, it's just who's defining it, and just chill. I like that. That's pretty straightforward. You know what? Can I give you some healthy advice?
Go for it.
If you and your wife are headbutting, don't reach in your pocket and say, "Here, take a chill pill." See, that's bad. That's not healthy.
That's not
I got
healthy.
yelled at. Don't do that.
Yeah, no, that's
Don't
not
do that.
healthy. Not healthy at all. That's good. That's going to be what gets you out of here. So here we go.
How much time we got
Here we go.
left?
You ready?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Healthy, not healthy. Company taking political sides.
You mean like actual politics, Republican, Democrat?
No, like taking stances on political topics.
Dear Lord. I'm going not healthy. I can't. I'm like, delete. I can't get on board with this.
I agree. That's
Either side, I'll share my political thoughts and beliefs, and that's my opinion, that's my thoughts, so we can have an open dialogue about it. But cramming it down your employees' throats, is that what you're talking about?
Anything, like it could be your employee source or even speaking outwardly against it. Like the way I look at this is like, man, if I go to a mortgage company to get a mortgage, I'm there to get a mortgage, not to get their beliefs on the political system of the world.
Yes, dude. Our company, right?
This is what it
benefits.
is.
I think you come to us to understand your benefits, right? To ideally save costs and do that. It's not my place to talk to you about, who the next president is or your. I'm going unhealthy. So I'm trying to think. How much time we got left, Jay? About a minute.
About a minute and a half.
Minute and a half.
Rapid fire, man.
We could do one more healthy or unhealthy. Healthy or unhealthy. Backwards hats.
Oh man, definitely healthy.
100%.
Not even gonna blink.
I'm actually like.
I think
I got
it's
a hat
not
here
even,
somewhere.
dude, it's not even blinking on that.
All right, healthy or unhealthy. Custom T-shirts that you
man,
make the same day.
Definitely, you make the same day. That's impressive.
I went there. There's a T-shirt
That's
place right by our
impressive.
office. I'm like, you know what? I want to fire these out.
Yeah.
Figure out what looks good.
Yeah,
and
no,
these
it's
guys.
definitely healthy. You gotta rep the brand, man.
Let's
you gotta
see
rep
here.
it.
Healthy or unhealthy? You asked me this. Middle-aged men wearing dunks.
Well, what I love about this question is
you're wearing some.
What I love about this question is when I asked you, you looked at me and go, ducks? And I was like, no, dunks.
I said, what are ducks?
And he goes, what are ducks? And this went back and forth for it was like a scene from Step Brothers, Pam situation.
Yeah,
And I was like, no,
jeez.
man, dunks. But no, dude, I think they're healthy, man, all the time, man. I think anytime you can rock a style out there, man, do it.
Dude, I hope you had fun. This is the hard. Time flies. I wish it would last longer. Hopefully, you come back if you want to.
Dude, I'd love to come back
on your
man.
show. Like always,
I'd love to come
to your
back,
studio.
hang out with you and Jay, get Jay to laugh, eat that gummy bear. There's a little
Oh,
nitro
we
over there. I
forgot
can't wait to
about
see
the
Jay
gummy
take down
bear.
that
There's a
little
hot gummy,
nitro.
not a like.
Not a gummy. I'm talking like a gummy bear that's like 9,000
Not the
nobles of
THC
pain.
gummies. A lot of.
Yeah, no.
This is a hot, spicy one.
so
9
there's some
million
hot,
Scoville
spicy-
units.
9 million Scoville units. Yeah, no, man. Thanks for having me on here, and I appreciate it. And if you guys want to check out the podcast, it's What's Your One More with the number one. If you would go to Apple, 5-star review it, share it with a friend.
Yep.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel on all platforms: Apple, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and then check us out on our social at What's Your One More with the number one. But man, thanks again for having us on
Yeah,
the show.
we'll tag all this stuff. What's your one more with the number? The actual number one, not
Yep.
spelt out. Today's interesting because we got cameras in here. We'll see how it comes out. We'll share it. We'll post them. We'll tag them. And man, I had a blast. Good
Same here, my
stuff.
friend.
Q, Quinton. I like saying Q now. Harris, J-Bose. How we doing? Wrap it up. Shut your mouth. Let's wrap it up. That's what the health just happened.
Hustling.